Addict, it's Joe with Black Box Silver and Bronze, and I've got an amazing stack of comics I picked up at some antique stores. Let's check them out. Hey, comic addicts, I've got some great comics to show you from, these are all from antique stores, from 3 different antique stores that I went to in the past 2 weeks. So sometimes when I'm bored on Sunday, I just hop in the car and drive to antique stores. And I did that a week ago on Sunday. And then just a couple of days ago, I was driving down back to Tennessee from Maryland, where I was visiting my son. And to break up the trip, I hit antique stores, usually different ones along the route. And so I found some great stuff. And I can't wait to share with you what I've got. So the first antique store I went to was called Rocking Horse Antique Gallery in Crossville, Tennessee. And I found one comic there. There were not a lot of comics there, but I did find this. This is Scarlet Scorpion Dark Shade, issue number 2 from AC Comics. And this is from 1995, August of 1995. And it's a revival of Golden Age characters. So these 2 characters, Scarlet Scorpion is based on the Blue Beetle, and Nightshade is based on Sandman from the Golden Age. And it's very interesting. I want to crack this open and read something to you from in here, because there were only 2 issues, and there's a reason why this cover is just the one color, the red with the black and white. And so let me read this to you. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but the first couple of paragraphs. A funny thing happened on the way to Scarlet Scorpion Dark Shade number 1. The comic book market collapsed in 1994. Nearly 1/3 of the comic stores went out of business after the speculators left the market. This decline in retail outlets radically affected the business of all publishers and distributors. Marvel Comics, the former sales leader, decided to pull out of the existing distribution system to retool their operation in an effort to regain lost sales. They purchased Heroes World, the 3rd largest comic distributor, and made it a Marvel exclusive outlet. That cut out all other publishers from Heroes World sales, so numbers dropped even lower. All this is my long-winded way of saying, hey, you're holding a real collector's item in your hands. Both Scarlet Scorpion, Dark Shade numbers 1 and 2 had far lower press runs than the typical AC Comics. Guard it dearly. The lower circulation necessitated a change in plans regarding the contents of this issue. Sadly, we had to cut back to a 2-color cover and eliminate the flip book effect that we started with issue 1. Also, there was just not time to ink and color the excellent cover art that Joseph MBEH did for the Dark Shade flip cover. I had to take over all art and production on this book because we just couldn't afford to hire anyone else or have any other staffers put time into its creation. If this wasn't done, the book would not exist at all. So I've got a very rare low print round copy, but that being said, it was only $1.50. I thought it was a really cool cover. One of the things about it was the title up here totally reminded me of Tales of Suspense when they had Iron Man and Captain America side by side up there. And what do you think? Doesn't the Scarlet Scorpion letters look a lot like Captain America? The next antique store I went to, also in Crossville, was called the Antique Village Mall. And I got some good comics there. There was actually a booth that had lots of comics there, and all the Westerns were 50% off, and he had tons of Westerns. So if anyone's looking for Westerns and they're in the area, go there. Tons of Westerns. So I hope to go back and dig through more of it. But I did get this Western, which is a promo comic book. It's The Sheriff of Cochise. And this is from 1957, but this is a mobile gas promo comic. So I thought, wow, that's great. I love promo comics, and it's 50% off. I didn't pay hardly anything for this, like $2 or $3 maybe. Then I found TV Teens. This is volume 2, issue number 4. Great Good Girl art by Chick Stone. And this was issue number 4 of volume 2. There was issue number 3 of volume 2, was where volume 2 started. There was a previous volume 1 of TV Teens, the first 2 issues, but it was weird. It was like issues number 13 and 14, or 12 and 13. It must have continued from another title. Then when volume 2 came out, since 2 issues had been out, they started with number 3. This is issue number 4, but the real good one is issue number 5, which is the groping cover. Nevertheless, these things are really hard to find, and it's got some great good girl art by Chick Stone. And Chick Stone was a very prolific artist. A lot of people know him for being Jack Kirby's inker in the Silver Age on the Fantastic Four run. I also brought this home with me. This is Pep Comics number 104. I cannot find out who the artist is. Who do you think that is? Leave it in the comments, and if you know. I looked on the internet in several places, and it's not credited, and it's not written on the cover. But I really like that cover. The girls are really cute. And I like the old Pep Comics title, and the Archie with the blue and the red masthead there. This is very low grade. It was torn right across here. And there's some Scotch tape holding it back in place, but they didn't do a good job because it doesn't line up there. It's relatively new tape, so it'd be too hard to get off without damaging it. But really cool. I think I paid maybe $6 for this, and there's a fair copy in worse condition on my comic shop for like $20. So I think I got a good deal on that, and it's really cool. And then I picked out this one. This is Nyoka, the Jungle Girl. This is by Charlton. It started out in Fawcett and then continued in Charlton. This is from August of 1957. And I just thought this was a really cool underwater cover. And it's signed down here, Janice S., but that is an artist named Janice, last name Valleau, Valleau. And she was a female Golden Age artist who did this cover as well. And she had different pen names that she used. And lastly, I picked this one up. This is going to be a gift to a friend of mine who loves these kind of comics. This is a promo comic from a shoe company. And what they did was they would take comic books that I guess were returned, and they ripped the covers off, and they printed their own advertisement for their shoe company, stuck it on the comic, and gave it out free to kids. So this one is Waxburg custom built shoes from Chicago, Illinois. And it has inside, the comic that's inside is Paul Terry's Mighty Mouse, number 45 by St. John from 1951. So it's got a good Mighty Mouse story in it. These are cool. I find these, I've had 2 or 3 of them, but it's not a type of promo comic that I'm really keen on, but Roger likes these. So if I ever see him, I snag them and send them to him, get them out of the wild and get them to someone who really appreciates them. And all right, lastly, I have 3 more comics to show you. This I just picked up yesterday from an amazing antique store in Verona, Virginia, called the Factory Antique Mall. It's the biggest antique mall I have been in. There are so many vendors in there. And there's a couple of comic places, but I found these like kind of scattered around in not all where the comic vendors were, just in other places. And one of these, the last one I'm going to show you, is just will blow your mind. So the first thing here I have is Cartoon Carnival number 3. This is from 1963, and it's by Charlton Comics, and it's very thick. It's like one of those square bound books. And basically, it's just a joke magazine. So it's got all kinds of good girl art in here, and all these, funny situations with men and women. Some of them take up a whole page, some of them, two on a page like this. Probably about a third of it is color, the rest is black and white. So just kind of a funny joke magazine in a comic book size. And I thought this was really cool. I had never seen anything like this before. Now, the last two are promo comics. This is a promo comic that's been on my radar. I've never seen it. I saw it there, grabbed it off the shelf. This is Posture Foundation, the PF, Posture Foundation, Magic Shoe Adventure Book. And this is from 1962. And it is a promo comic about the rubber from BF Goodrich used in shoes. So I guess maybe that's where you heard that term PF Flyers, Posture Foundation. I never knew that. That's where it came from. Great kind of sci-fi cover, taking place, on this planet. They've got their helmets on. Really cool. And there's 3 or 4 short stories in here where the shoes are important in different scenarios, being on the moon or this planet, being in the jungle, whatever. So really happy to have this. I think this must have been either mailed in an envelope or somebody did it, because unlike having a subscription crease down the middle, there's a crease here and a crease here. Like you could roll it up and stick it in an envelope. I don't know if it came that way. If anyone knows, comment below. But it appears that at one time, at least, it was stored that way. All right, now this one blew my mind. This was one of those things where I couldn't believe that I saw it hanging there. And as soon as I saw it, I was wondering what the price was. I looked at the price, it was $15, and I'm like, quickly grab this thing. This is an extremely rare comic. This is called Helm's Snuffman. And this is a promo comic from 1962. Now, you will not find this in Overstreet, the Grand Comic Database, My Comic Shop, the Gerber Guide. It's a ghost. And this is a promo comic from Chewless Tobacco, or Smokeless Tobacco, I should say, Smokeless Tobacco, from this company called Helms. And this salesman here is telling these young boys all of the benefits and reasons why tobacco is so good. So it's crazy, right? That this thing exists. And I grabbed this down. It's in very, very nice shape. It could use a press. There's a little bit of a bend in it that can easily be pressed out. This thing will be very sharp. And it was $15. And when I got to the front, the vendor had a sale on. I get 10% off. I paid $13.50 for it. Now, this thing is extremely scarce. There was a copy of this for sale on eBay last August, and I bid on it. And I knew it was scarce, and I bid $100, and I didn't win it. It sold for $828. So this, I'm like over the moon that I found this for the price I did. This is in better condition than the one that sold for over $800 on eBay. So really psyched to add this to my collection. Now, if you're interested in seeing this, there is a library in Delaware. I think it's called the Hagley, Hagley library, and they have this digitized. And so if you want to read it, it's like 8 pages times 2, 16. If you want to check it out, you could go there, and I'll try to drop the link in here so you could see what it is, or the name of the library. So that's it, Comic Addicts. Short and sweet, really over the moon about that last one. And what do you think? Have you ever seen that before? It's pretty cool, right? Like a tobacco comic for kids. Crazy. All right, take care. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.